Welcome back to Athletic Conceptual Training Podcast. Today's guest is someone who has become a real voice for veterinary technicians across the country. Ashley, also known as Ashley the Vet Nurse, is a licensed veterinary technician who's built a powerful platform by educating the vet med community through real life experience, honest conversation, and in-depth medical equipment reviews. What I respect most about Ashley is that her content isn't performative, it's practical. She is helping techs work smarter, feel seen, and understand the tools that directly impact patient care and team efficiency. With tens of thousands of people learning from her daily, Ashley is shaping how veterinary professionals think about their role, their value, and the future of this profession. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was such an amazing introduction. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Thank you so much.
Well, let's start at the beginning. What originally pulled you into veterinary medicine?
Honestly, what's everyone's? I want to work with animals. I love animals. I want to work with animals. And I was just so lucky. I did FFA. I did 4-H. I worked in dog boarding kennels, horse boarding kennels, Camp Bow Wow. I did doggy daycare. And I was so, I was very lucky to have all of this animal experience before going to technician school, which was an amazing experience because I went from being a biology major, going to a zoo. I wanted to be a zookeeper. Everybody wants to be a zookeeper, right? But then you find out how hard it is to get a job as a zookeeper. And one of the girls had come over and was learning to do blood draws on turtles, on the sea turtles. And I was like, I could do that. And I looked into it. I saw it was a 2-year program. It's an associate degree, something that you could do right out of high school or after your bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree, if you'd like. And I went and I did it. And it was amazing. And I said, this is something that is sustainable, something I could do in any state, anywhere, and have a secure job, as well as doing something that I truly like, And then that was my first tumble into veterinary medicine.
Oh, that's amazing. There's a difference between getting into vet med and staying into vet med. What made you stay?
Right. Honestly, the people. It's the people. I love my doctors. I love the people that I work with. We're all people. We're all not truly people, but we're people, right? We have similar personalities, I think, within the vet med world. And we honestly have a very special community, which when you start going to conferences, you learn wow, there's more of me and more of people that have the same interests as me. And then on the other side of that, the people that you get to send home with their babies, the thankfulness that you get knowing you're truly doing amazing things for not only people, but their pets too.
I love that answer. And yes, it is such an experience to go to a conference and you're like, hey, all the different color hairs and tattoos and people interested in the same things. When did you realize that you had a perspective that people actually needed to hear?
I was really lucky. So, I'm a little older and I had Instagram from when it first started, and I would post pictures of me at work because when I first started, I worked at a GP emergency crossover. So I was doing surgery, dentals, as well as inpatient. I was working ICU overnights or I was on days. I was never on appointments, thank goodness. But I got to do all of those really fun things, and I would post pictures of me with the pets, and people would like it. And then in my blurbs, because this is before Instagram had videos, in my blurbs, I would write about the pet breed. I would just take pictures with cool pets that came in, like terriers and all these different things. And I would just be like, here's a short history on that. And people took to it. And then from there, once again, vet med really wasn't doing social media. Veterinary hospitals weren't promoting via social media.
Right.
So I would start getting people oh my God, how did you become a vet tech? How did you get this job? How did you fall into it? So a lot of my early Instagram days was me explaining to people how to become a vet tech, where you're going to go to school, and what pay and what things are going to look like once you become a vet tech. And obviously things have changed since then as the longer I'm in the field, but that's honestly how I kind of rolled into it and how it started.
Wow. I love that. Instagram OG.
Yeah. proud to say it.
You've carved out a really specific lane reviewing medical equipment. Why that focus?
So as my journey through vet med has changed, right? Because everybody learns different things, everybody takes different paths.
Mhm.
And on top of that, before I answer that question, it's so important for people to know that being a vet nurse or a vet tech, that there are so many different routes you take. You don't have to just become a hospital manager. You don't have to just become a VTS. You don't have to just become these certain things that are kind of built out for you. There's a space for you. So for me, as I've gone through the years, truly my passion is spay and neuter, but that doesn't hold down the household. So I found myself wanting to get more into operations and wanting to get more into admin. And while my passions might not be NG tubes or anything like that, mine is medical equipment. Man, I love knowing how equipment works. I like knowing
Yeah.
how to take care of it,
Yeah.
appropriately. And I also really enjoy nicely organized things. So I started sharing that on my Instagram, and it kind of just took off, where people are like, oh my God, she's talking about the things that we don't get to talk about publicly. Like, we're not going from hospital to hospital asking people how you organize your blood pressure cuffs, or like, hey, what's your mid mark like? Because we don't really have a lot of say in the equipment that we buy. So being at my hospital, and I'm very lucky that I get all of these nice things there, I'm like, I want to share this with different hospitals so they have the opportunity to go to their managers and be like, hey, these people are using this. Is this something we can think about? Is this something that we can add or incorporate into our hospital? So yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when anyone is able to pivot to an off of the floor role, because those roles are so important. And you get to see the behind the scenes, and you get to have the ability. I mean, for example, medical device equipment, we all have run into the Dopplers that don't work anymore. And everybody's like protecting the crystal, and has anybody ever recalibrated one of those things,
Yeah.
or the anesthesia machine, or there's so many things that the Snyder.
We
I mean,
learn so much about medicine, and we forget to take care of our equipment, and we forget that, like, human hospitals, they have these people that like take care of that. They don't have to think about it.
yeah,
But in vet med, we're throwing it on the ground. We're the ones using it. We're the ones taking care of it.
mhm,
So it's like, we need to also educate ourselves, so that way we have better medical excellence. We can
yeah,
perform better if our equipment is performing better. So
preach.
mhm.
What's one piece of equipment clinics often overlook that actually makes a huge difference?
So I think the answer to this is going to be not as cool as
Okay.
people think. IV bag warmers, like either the table ones or the ones that go on the wall. Having
Yeah,
warm fluids is like godsend. A, for the pets,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
B, for any emergencies coming into the hospital. You have your cold patients, things going into surgery. Like your egg warmer, which we all think, we know about those. So having a fluid warmer in the hospital is very convenient. It also cuts down on costs,
yeah,
because you're not putting IV fluid bags all over your hospital and wasting them. So having one place to store your IV bags is good for the entire hospital.
yeah. Interesting, interesting.
You're right. I know it's not a really cool answer,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't go into a hospital without one.
Wow, I would not have guessed that. From your perspective, what separates a clinic that functions well from one that consistently feels behind?
Organization.
Yeah.
Just like with the IV fluid, the IV fluid warmer and having one
Mhm.
place for IV fluids, man, if you're putting things back where they belong, and
Yeah.
also have an organization system, like, right, I know I organize well if things go back where they're supposed to go. That's how
Right.
you know that you've organized things in the right way.
Yeah.
And when you're organizing, you always think from a technician's perspective, not from what looks pretty, but how am I going to grab things? So something simple is, when usually you open up drawers, people will have all these like tiny little spaces for all these different things that just ends up bunched up in everywhere.
Mhm.
Where in my hospital, it's designed, everything's quick, easy. It's just maybe 4. And it's like, dude, just throw the 3 ml syringes in this bin and call it a day. because it makes it easier to stock and it makes it easier for technicians to grab. So when I go into hospitals as a technician or as a customer, I want to see clean, organized. I want it to look like a functioning hospital. I don't want it to look dirty,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, because it messes with your mindset. To go into something that's clean and nice and organized every day makes life a lot easier. And I'm sure for all my OCD people out there, they've always like looked under a clinic sink and you're like, oh my God. So to know that you open those things and it's nice, it really makes a difference. I'm telling you, it like sets the culture.
I mean, needle caps, hair, blood stains. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Like where do we put our trash cans in pharmacy? I have like trash cans that go on the cabinets for right where you put your clips for all of like the pharmacy equipment. Like thinking of things like that go a long way.
So I'm getting veterinary hospital interior decorator vibes from you right now.
Not 100%.
No,
Not 100%, but it's just like I said, design. We don't other people design for looks. And if we had a lot more nurses designing for nurses, things would be way better.
Yeah. I mean, guys, if you are looking for supreme, exceptional organization, look no further than Ashley, the veterinary.
It's okay. It's just because I'm a Virgo, and anyone who's a Virgo will understand.
See, what does that even mean?
Virgos were very, we like lists, and honestly, we like things organized.
Okay.
Like we like things organized and clean. And we don't expect everyone else to do it because we know that we're going to do it no matter what.
What? Okay. So it's like is it like a little bit of like a OCD thing? So it's just like,
I think it's an OCD thing, but it's also just like an experience thing, right?
Yeah.
I've the original hospital I went in, I like overhauled surgery because there was just stuff everywhere. And like I said, looking at it from like a manager or a money standpoint or an inventory standpoint, you're like, dude, we're wasting money because there's just stuff everywhere. So like, how do we cut down on the amount of needles we're using? How do we cut down on this? Do I have to buy a certain brand of butterflies? I'll buy a certain brand of butterflies if you run through 1 versus 5. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So which also, like I said, translate to patients. You buy better products or you buy products that work for your team. The less sticks your patient's going to have, the less, you know what I mean, pokes that we're going back and forth, the less wait time looking for things, gathering things. It all is like the circle of life in a veterinary clinic because it starts from the bottom and works its way up.
Great job with that. What is the biggest misconception people have about being a veterinary technician?
It's easier. It's easier in that we're not really nurses or technicians or whatever anyone wants to call us, right? Which I always say I'm a licensed veterinary technician. I'm actually the vet nurse on Instagram, but I'm a licensed veterinary technician. Who knows, maybe LVT, CVT, RVT, depending on what state I'm licensed in. Right. And I'm licensed in 7, so I'm all 3.
Wow.
And I like to bring a lot of things into that because people don't realize that we don't have like a national, but that's, I think, the most common misconception is what we do, how we do it, and the skill that we have to do it with. And vet med has come a long way.
It has.
I wasn't there in the 90s, but I've met some people that were, and things have changed. In the 2000s, things have changed. I came into vet med in 2010, 2012. And even since then, things have changed. And honestly, it's just progressing. It's getting better. We're practicing better medicine. We have better equipment. And people are spending more on their pets. So we're able to do more life-saving procedures and better preventative care on their pets. So I think with social media, people are seeing all of the things that we do now physically and with open concept. It's changing a lot too. Everything we used to do was behind closed doors. With human medicine, they've been doing, they can't blindfold you while they're drawing your blood, right? But we used to take pets in the back. They never saw what we were doing. So with a lot of this open concept, hospitals coming about, we're able to do it in front of people. They see us doing blood transfusions. They see us performing CPR, and it's changing the game. It's changing how we're treated, for sure.
I guess it's appropriate to do this right now. And if you know, you know. Wow. If you could change one thing about vet med culture tomorrow, what would it be?
Always more growth.
More growth.
Always more growth, especially
Okay.
for the technicians. You know, with veterinarians, you come in, you go to school for a really long time, and that's their career.
Yeah.
They're a vet. That's what they're going to do until they decide to change careers.
Mm-hmm.
When you become a technician, it's your career, but also you know it's maybe not your end all.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's really important that, like I said, there's so many routes that we can go, and right now we have to like fight for it, right? Like I feel like we have to fight for these routes. We have to like create positions. We have to do all of this stuff to find our end all.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I wish I could change. I wish I had an end all for veterinary technicians, and until pay increases and it becomes, you know, something that a technician can live sustainably by themselves, and with the cost of living going up, you know, it's not going to change anytime soon. So right now I feel like end all is still finding options in finding what works for you, whether it's a VTS and going into training and creating your own LLC, and you're going around to hospitals, and now you're training all these different hospitals on anesthesia, exotic animal handling, all of these different things. Shout out to Mary Berg. I think she was the first person that I've ever seen. She went and got her VTS in dentistry, and then she started like a dentistry consult company where she goes and talks to all these technicians about like how to shoot your x-rays and all of this. That was the first time I was like, man, she went and created a whole business out of just being an awesome VTS in dentistry. That was the first time I heard of that. So to see kind of like you can do things, or even with me in social media, my social media is, you know what I mean, part of my journey. So I want that for more people, for sure.
Yeah, I was just having a conversation with someone recently, and we were talking about and this is no disrespect to anyone, but the vet field lifers. And, you know, it's sort of sad to see what that looks like. You know, I have one of them in my hospital, and it just really shines a light on why people need other options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our knees can't take it.
No, but knees, back. I mean, even mental capacity, you know.
Yeah,
And
mental capacity. Like, I don't know, honestly, we need to talk to more human nurses, because I'm always like, how do they do it? Like, there's ladies like still in there performing medicine. And I'm like, is it the physicality? Is it what the hospitals provide? And don't get me wrong, I know human nurses are being burnt out and underpaid as well. So
right.
let's add that in. But like, how do I have the TTs in the hospital like doing this? Because you don't see it in vet med. But I think also with hospitals, like I said, there's a little bit more positions for them, right? They have charge nurse. They have all these like different little nuances that they can like fall into as their career progresses. Where do they want to go? They have all these different departments that may be a little bit less demanding. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I would love to, you should find a human nurse and ask them about it. Like, how do they deal? But with vet med, yeah, it's like once I've now been in it for definitely 12 years, you know.
Did you just look at a clock?
Yeah, I had to look. I had to make sure. I had to make sure. I was like, wait. I was like, how long have I been in it? So I've been in it for 12 years. And yeah, and I had someone come up to me the other day. They said, man, I'm thinking about applying for the inventory career. I want to do what you do, because I don't know if I can be on the floor anymore. Right. And I'm like, girl, do it. Because I was like, I miss it. Don't get me wrong. I miss being on the floor. But I know my passion, like I said, is spay, neuter, trips, and that's not sustainable, you know. I wish it was, and for some people, they can make it, but for me, it's personally not. So I want to be representation for other people to be like, you can do it. Like you are. You can go. You can do it. You can make it to hospital manager. You can make it to admin. With my company, maybe you're opening new hospitals. You're doing new team training, which is why, you know, I'll plug, you know, I love Veterinary Emergency Group and what they are doing for the vet tech community, because they are offering options.
Yeah.
Options are limited, right? They can't do it for everyone. but at least that there's options there,
Yeah.
you know? So in private practices, that might not always be possible. They don't
Right.
have 100 hospitals to open up those types of positions. So what do we do?
Right.
Right.
Well, one of the things that I will blame, or I think we need, those hydraulic gurneys like in veterinary medicine. Those things are so cool. Every time I see a fire engine and then the EMTs come out, they just hit a button, it just pops down. The bed's all comfortable. I was like, I want to work on that.
We have one, but ours is metal.
I know. Oh, well, that's what I'm saying.
Review. Actually, I should do a gurney review.
You should definitely do that.
Not it's like hydraulic, but it goes up and down gurney. But we also have like a quick gurney, and I forced our hospital to buy it because I was like, if you make me take this 1,000-pound table outside to go get another stat, I will die. I need something quick and easy to move around this hospital. I'll do it just for you.
I mean, from my perspective, I'm always called out to pick up these big dogs. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, okay, this is not a complaint. This is just a little venting session, so I'll go there. The other day, we had a Bernese Mountain Dog that was down. First of all, the lady pulls up, and she parks across the street from the hospital, and then opens up her trunk. Now, she was in a frantic state. But,
yeah, no, I understand.
But there was a parking spot right in front. I was like, okay, like, just because I'm a bigger dude, you think I'm going to just, like, carry this thing in it? Like, can you please can you back that thing? Can you back your car back into the front spot? And, our gurney was like the metal one too. So, the wheels are never stable. And as soon as you push it off the curb, one of them falls off. So anyway, we need better gurneys.
I have a tip for that. Honestly, I learned it from spay neuter. The best way to carry a dog is on a blanket. If anyone has a question, just get the dog on a blanket. Have two people grab two corners and two people grab the other and just sling them in. That's the best way, especially if people already have those car covers on their back seat.
Yeah.
Just unhook it.
All right. Blanket. Just get a blanket. Yeah,
I would keep it on a blanket, even on an x-ray table. Just leave it on a blanket. You can x-ray right through it. Pick it up. Take it out.
Keep the blankets in your cars, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Yeah. But yeah, my back hurts. But I don't want to also tell people not to come to vet med because, like I said, things are changing, dude. And I would never take back the 10 years that I had on the floor, ever. What I've learned, the people that I've met, I would never trade that in for anything, Like I said, I'm just here for representation that if it is a career change that you want to make to get off the floor, there are options for you.
Yep. I love that. If with the audience you've built, there's influence there. How do you think about that responsibility?
It's stressful. Because I also, with social media, the bird people hate me. Let me go ahead and add that. I posted my cat. I adopted a cat from outside. Okay. And for a while, she was an indoor-outdoor cat. She came from outside. And I had posted a video about keeping a GPS tracker on her, and they tore me to pieces. I was a cat abusive because I let my cat outside. And B, the bird people were like, she's going to eat all of the birds. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? So coming off of something as small as that, creating it, the fact that I review and talk about medical equipment, there is a responsibility, right? And I try to be open and transparent in my videos. Like, this is a product I just got and it sounds really cool and I want to share it with you guys. But am I telling everyone to run and go buy it? No, everybody needs to make their own opinion and everybody needs to do their research on anything that anyone on the internet is talking about, right? For me, I always make sure that I'm giving information that's given to me from the manufacturer. And like I say, I usually say in my videos whether or not this is something I used or this is something that I am bringing to the table, right? A lot of my Mila videos, things that I do that we use in the hospital, I will record and do procedures.
Okay.
Which they love. I did something like a plasma sterilizer. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I had that guy come up to me and he asked me, he was like, but we don't like those in IMED because of this, this, and this. And I'm like, that's really interesting. And I would have never known that because I'm not an eye specialty.
Right.
So like I said, I think you can bring products, you can give your reviews and opinions, but it's always up to people to do their own research and find out what's best for them. Well, something that works for GP might not be something for emergency. Just like I did Velcro-less blood pressure cuffs. When I put them out on the floor, I tell the technicians, I'm like, guys, this is brand new. If anything looks off, we're going to get our old stuff and we're going to compare it. Let me know in case I make a video, but like these are things that everyone has to be very careful about bringing anything new into their hospital. Is their staff trained? Are they using it or anything like that? Outside of like equipment and things like that, I think that I stay true to who I am and the things that I've been through. Vet med's not all like roses. Best thing, and I think I've always tried to be very honest about that. But there is a great responsibility about what I say, what I show. I'm very against client shaming. I don't do I don't do videos mocking clients in their integrity and what they know about certain things, because not everybody knows the things that we know.
That's right.
I think that's something that's really hard. And you don't see it as much anymore because I think people realize like, if we're going to cater and do social media, we can't make fun of the people that we want to follow us, you know? And I think there's a responsibility to be representation for the vet med field, right? Yeah. So like I said, I'm very explicit. Yes, I'm Ashley the vet nurse on Instagram, but I am a licensed veterinary technician, right? So you just have to be very careful with your wording and make sure that you're staying true to yourself and that you're not misleading people on the internet.
What advice would you give new or aspiring techs who look at your page and think that could be me?
Just post. Just post. Like that's what I did. I mean, Instagram back in the day used to be not as serious. So like, I feel like people were more comfortable with posting more. But even now, just post. Post what you think, post what you're going through, post what you think people are going to like, just what they're gonna consume. I can't think of the word. Consume. Yeah, not even consume, what they're gonna relate to. There it is.
Okay.
You want to do relatable content. Nobody wants like a picture perfect world or anything like that. So when they aspire, like I think most people that ask me is how do I get into content, which is why I'm answering that way. They're already vet med. They're already vet techs. How do they get into content? And I'm like, just post. And for the people that want to be vet techs, just go to school. Just sign up and do it. And everything is going to go from there. Then you get to figure out, do you want to be in GP? Do you want to do emergency? Are you going to do large animal? And I'm so excited for all their different journeys and where they end up.
Yeah. I'm just going to do a little plug here and piggyback off of your just do it. I'm just going to say act. Where do you go? There you go. Act. It just takes one action to change everything, you know, and if you want change, you are in control of that. Okay. Last question, a fun one. What's a moment that could only happen in a vet clinic?
I've been thinking, honestly, it happened the other day. It's like, okay, so a dog came out of the cage. It was having, you know, hemorrhagic diarrhea, all these fun things. And it comes out. And of course, he's all raw and red back there. And I work in an open concept. So we have like all these customers around and whatnot. And you just see the technician like glove up. He gets his SSD and, you know, like they lift the dog's tail. And then the way that I found myself looking at it, and then I looked around and everyone was just staring at what was happening. And I was like, it's not all.
Yeah.
Welcome to vet med, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to vet med. And even like when we're doing endoscopies and owners join in and they're like, everyone's like, oh, grab it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like in other things, you don't get that. You don't get it. So this one of the things I love is when the hospital kind of comes together. Customers and employees included, and we're all like cheering on something, whether it's that dog that ate chocolate, we're all like, yeah, in the hospital because we got him to vomit, or even, you know, wiping a butt. So I love to see the atmosphere that happens in vet med when that happens.
Oh, great. Ashley, I appreciate you not just for the content, but for the consistency and the honesty you bring to this profession. You're helping techs feel competent, confident, and valued. And that matters more than people realize. For everyone listening, make sure you're following Ashley the Vet Nurse across social media. Check out her equipment reviews and support the work that she's doing for the vet med community. Ashley, thank you for joining us today. This was a great conversation. Anything else? Final words you want to leave the people with?
No, I don't have much else. I just want people, like I said, to know that vet med is an amazing place. And for those of you who are thinking about leaving the field, there's something for you without leaving the field. You might leave the floor, but you don't have to leave the field. You don't have to leave your passion.
That's true.
To be fulfilled, yeah.
All right, that's all for us today. Thank you guys for tuning in to Athletic Conceptual Training. Ashley, thank you again.